What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this Biohackers Unite. Woo! Hey,
It's
it's another awesome day. It's
Friday.
Friday. I love it. It's great. We've got
It's
some Euro
Friday.
dance music coming on here. It's good.
Turn it up. Turn
Yeah, it
it up.
looks like we're live everywhere, which is nice to see.
Yeah, this is awesome. I hope everybody's doing really good out there. Yes. Yes. We're going to knock it out of the park today and into the weekend. It's going to be so fun. Trevor, what's our topic today?
Oh, it's gonna be a good one. It's gut health. It's gut health and
Oh my gosh, like everybody is like freaking out right now.
everybody like runs the other way because it's like supposed to be boring and like I don't want to talk about gut health. What the hell? That's about pooping. Who wants to talk about pooping? I don't want to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that part of it.
Well, I mean that's part of it, but you know,
it is part of it.
it is
But
what it is.
we're going to talk about the more interesting parts of gut health.
Yep.
Before we get into that, Trevor, you got any messages for our people?
Well, I got lots of messages. I mean, I can start however you want me to start, but
What are your messages? What's been going on with you this week?
oh man, I've just been crazy busy. It's been insane. I actually created lots of different stuff for my business this week, and just like been really like trying to focus on helping other people and clients and all that coaching stuff. So it's been a great crazy week, and then like family stuff. I got my kids got hockey and all that stuff. So it's just been so busy. But I mean that's sort of life. That's how this all works, right? And I'm actually super blessed because for myself, I eat really well. I take care of myself. I train every day, and I have lots of energy throughout the day to get everything done. And I still feel great throughout the day. So
yeah, you do, and you're teaching me a lot about that. I've always been very interested in nutrition, but you're kind of helping me look at it from a little different standpoint. And I'm feeling good on the plan. I'm feeling really good, and definitely more energy. And definitely, I think what I like the most is my energy just seems to be like steady.
yeah,
I'm not,
not like up and
I'm
down.
not doing this.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is amazing. And
Yeah.
like when I'm training, I'm not getting the shakes at all. And hot flashes, I don't think I've hardly had any. I mean, it might come on a little bit, but it's like not it's not real heavy, or it's just kind of a okay, just a little subtle.
It's very little. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're coming into week number 5, I believe, of our system. And we've got you on intermittent fasting, which is obviously like you're eating a certain amount of meals in a window of eating, and then you're fasting for 16 hours. Tell the audience what that's like for you. And I know it's like it's been like good, but there's also been some challenging times with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely taking some getting used to. I was somewhat fasting, but this is a larger fast than what I was doing before. I think before I was 12 hours before, 14 hours. Now I'm what?
16.
So 16 hours.
Yeah. And eventually you want to get it.
Tell the difference for sure. The last 2 to 3 hours, I'm kind of like hanging there, because it's like when my day has started and my body is just so used to not having, before when I would start my day, I would have already eaten. And so my body's not thinking about food. So now while I'm training and all, I am thinking about food a little bit, and it's going to be a matter of discipline, teaching my body, get over it. It's going to be fine. And, really, I mean, once I finally get to eat, it's like the hugest reward, and it feels so. I really, more than ever, I feel like I'm looking forward to my meals more. I'm enjoying the meals more. I really like the food a lot. Food's absolutely delicious, and yeah, really, that I would say that is the only biggest challenge is those last 2 to 3 hours of the fast, just hang in there, because I do cook breakfast for my daughter, and it's like so tempting to
I
make
know.
some for me. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to eat so bad.
I know. I hear you. And it's really a mental thing. A lot of it is mental. Like your body, your body will send you signals saying, hey, where's my food? It's like giving you those signals saying, it's time to eat. Come on, Kelly, what's going on? But yeah, if you just hold out, you're actually pushing your body to a next level. You're reducing the inflammation. I think this is the biggest thing. We'll talk a lot about that as we go through our gut health talk. But, I'm doing a 24-hour fast right now, and it's wonderful. Like when I'm fasting and when my clients are fasting, we have such great energy levels. Like I just had a client finish she did a 40-hour fast, like 47 hours, 47 and a half hour fast. And she was kind of worried about it, but she did so great. She had amazing energy. She felt good. She did a workout. She did lots of stuff, and she had like higher levels of energy than she normally would. And so I think this is something about the fasting that we need to sort of forget, that our bodies can survive really, really well without food. It's designed. Our bodies are designed to actually improve when we fast.
So this is interesting. And it ties into our talk today, which is
gut health.
Gut health. By the way, at the end of our talk today, we will reveal the name of a dog. Trevor and I both had dogs by the same name. We both figured this out. And if you stay till the end and you hear this name, first person to put it into the comments will get what, Trevor?
Oh, you'll get amazing prizes. We're going to give away millions of dollars today.
Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Eventually, maybe. But, well, I mean, I'm going to be giving away a personalized meal plan to the first person who guesses this. And Kelly, you're going to give away...
I'm going to give away my amazing mushroom coffee that I absolutely love, and talk about gut health. It's great for gut health, as well as your meal plan. So yes, all kinds of health benefits to our prize today, which is really good. So back to what we were just talking about the fasting.
Yeah.
So let me see. When we fast, it makes the bacteria in our gut, they kind of freak out, and they actually create a hormone called fasting induced adipose factor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And this hormone instructs the body to stop storing fat and start burning fat. So there's your first, if we want to correlate fasting with gut health, there's one.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, your body's opportunity to actually start to use its own body fat for energy is like 100 times more. And it's kind of like counterintuitive, because you're like I need to eat food, right? But your body can actually produce ketones from its own body fat stores. So when your body, when you're reducing the amount of food that you're having, or you're starting to fast, there's a switch that happens, and your body can basically, it kind of wakes up this switch called autophagy. And with autophagy, what that is essentially recycling of old cells, and it actually reduces the inflammation within your gut, which is huge. If you're dealing with a lot of inflammation like celiac disease and those types of diseases, fasting is one of the number one things that you can do to help improve gut health. That's huge. Number one. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing with gut health that we should all know, and I think the vast majority of people probably know this now, but Trevor and I are just going to educate a little bit about this. So within our bodies, we have trillions of different kinds of bacteria in our bodies, and a lot of them are in our gut. And within those bacteria, there are good bacteria and bad bacteria. The good ones are, doing they're processing sugars and, getting rid of the bad stuff. And, they're just kind of doing their little daily tasks to help us. And then there are the bad bacteria that are basically counteracting all of that and creating aging, creating leaky gut, all sorts of negative conditions. So what you want is to always be trying to cultivate the good bacteria in our gut. And there are a few things that help with that. And then there are a few things that really harm the good bacteria. I'm going to give my thing that really harms bacteria, and that is antibiotics.
Oh, that's a huge one.
That's a huge one.
So many people don't even realize that they're taking lots of antibiotics, or they get sick and they take antibiotics, and that destroys or wipes out the good bacteria. Yeah.
And from what I understand, when you take antibiotics, yes, when you finish your round of antibiotics, your microbiome will start to grow back. And the good bacteria will try its best to grow back, but it will never, ever be right again. It will never be the same as, say, when you were born and you had, the most optimum situation in your gut before, pollution and food and all that stuff. It will never be the same after one round of antibiotics.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
It's nuts. And doctors prescribe it so easily. I mean, it's just so commonplace now.
It is. Yeah. The other thing too is like anti-inflammatories like Tylenol and ibuprofen also do the same sort of thing. That's like a common thing. You got a headache. Oh my God, take an ibuprofen. But we don't realize what that does in our gut, and it actually does wipe out and destroy a lot of the good bacteria. So yeah, it's a huge thing. I mean, drugs are so, like you said, it's commonplace just to pop a pill, and but we don't understand what that pill is doing into our in our internal internal colon and gut and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Yeah.
So I really think that along with bad food, bad nutrition practices out there, I really do think that and I hope I may get in big trouble for for saying this, but
can never get in big trouble here.
Pharmaceutical industry is playing some role in obesity, in heart disease, multiple diseases that can go back to our gut health. And in a lot of ways, these drugs that have counteracted or thrown off the balance in our system. So I would say in developed countries now, the multitude of people, or the majority of people, have probably had antibiotics now at some point in their life.
Yeah.
So they have, more than likely, these conditions that are going to be really hard to get back to a good, healthy, like once you get it's out of whack, it's hard to get back.
Yeah, there are definitely best practices when it comes to rebuilding your gut flora, for sure. Definitely. But I mean, for me, like my whole take on this is that, you can rebuild your gut flora very quickly. And you can reduce the inflammation within your gut flora, but you have to do it the right way and with the right types of foods, right? And that's where I want to I would love to talk to the audience about that, because that's really ultimately what we want. We want to eat the right types of foods to help rebuild the gut flora, to improve our mental health, to improve how our body uses our own body fat, and to improve the longevity of our body. Because listen, if you're not digesting and assimilating food properly, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, including like, there's a big link between the mind and the gut. There's a big link between weight loss and the gut health. And it really, there's a huge connection there. And so if you're not digesting and assimilating food, there are certain things that you can do in order for you to improve that.
So just a simple, maybe just a little, a handful of some things that people can do. I know one really big thing is adding olive oil to your diet can
Olive
be
oil.
significant. Olive oil helps to balance all sorts of things, but one thing it does is it helps to really encourage the good bacteria in your gut. What are some of the things you might suggest?
Well, and here's where I come at this with is that it's looking at something a little bit differently. So yes, we need to reduce sugar. That's a big thing, obviously, because sugar causes the bad bacteria to grow and causes lots of inflammation. But we also need to eat the right things at the right time. So what I suggest is actually saturated fats. Okay, because if especially to have small chain fatty acids. Okay, because what ends up happening is your body can convert these small chain fatty acids into something called butyrate. Now, butyrate is actually an amazing molecule that can help heal the gut walls and can actually improve the permeability of your intestines to keep basically the bad bacteria from leaching out into your bloodstream. So butyrate is fantastic, and you can find that in certain vegetables, but you can also find that in saturated fats. And this is where I come at when I'm actually working with a client. I actually look at their gut health, what's happening within their gut health. And if they're not pooping properly, see, I'm going to talk about poop for a second. If they're not assimilating or digesting foods, if they're not going to the bathroom properly, if they got low energy levels, if they don't feel good in their colon or their gut, then we need to make sure that they have the right combinations of foods in their meals to help improve gut health, right? And so a lot of the things that I do subscribe or prescribe to clients are going to be more higher saturated fat foods. Foods like butter, foods like high fat whipping cream, right? Stuff like higher fat foods that are more saturated fats, because your body can convert those small chain fatty acids into butyrate, which will help improve gut health overall.
Yeah, definitely. I know people are always shocked about the butter and probably the whipping cream too. The whipping cream for me doesn't do so well because of lactose issues.
Yeah.
I do find there are some things that my body just won't tolerate. But yeah, for some reason butter, it doesn't bother me, and thank God.
Yeah, you can call me Butter Boy because I eat so much butter throughout the day. It's a fantastic way to improve your gut health, right? And it's a small little thing that you could do throughout the day that doesn't take you add butter into your foods or meals, or I even just take it with a tablespoon and have a tablespoon of butter sometimes.
It reminds me of there was an SNL skit at one point of Paula Deen. Do you remember Paula Deen, where they would interview her and she's sitting there holding a stick of butter and just eating it? And they're all making fun of her because she's also eating like fried chicken and all this stuff. But who knew? Paula Deen actually, she was really onto something when she was
Saturday Night Live taught us something about butter. Eat your butter. Who knew?
Yeah,
right? So,
exactly.
yeah, I mean that's where I come from, and you want to feed your good gut bacteria. I mean, you really want to drive foods that are going to feed the good bacteria in your body, right? That's how you're going to improve your body's capability of losing body fat, right? Because if you're stuck when it comes to losing body fat, it's really not about like forcing the body to do stuff, right? So many people think, hey, listen, I got a 20-30 pounds to lose. I'm just going to go to the gym every single day and sweat it out and do all that crazy stuff. But then it's frustrating because they don't see the results, right? Well, if you look internally, your body is resisting losing body fat because there's something wrong internally, and it can't digest and assimilate the foods properly because there's not enough good bacteria to do so. So that's
also, sometimes there is a condition called leaky gut syndrome, and that is where the bacteria has actually eaten through the intestinal wall, and there is now that barrier has been broken. And so the stuff that normally would stay within the intestine and be released out through the body is now being released into the bloodstream and causing all sorts of issues. So so that's definitely, that's a condition. I would think that maybe the saturated fats. I know you can speak to this, but with leaky gut, would the saturated fats kind of help to come in and kind of seal the wall of the intestine to kind of build that barrier back?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I 100% agree with that. That can definitely be the case. I mean, when you're looking at the gaps in the intestinal wall, your body's leaching out the toxins. That creates a lot of autoimmune issues, right? And so if you're dealing with a lot of autoimmune stuff, we got to look deeper into the body and say, okay, has to be some gut health stuff that's happening. And for sure, saturated fats reduce the inflammation within the within the small intestine, and can definitely help with the healing process for sure. But again, like it's so there's one part of that, but then the other part is still feeding the good bacteria in your gut. So like foods that like are fermented, like sauerkraut and those types of foods actually improve how much good bacteria is created. So it's always about finding the foods that work for you to reduce the inflammation in your gut, but then eating the foods also that help feed the good bacteria. So there's like a two-step process there. I actually just saw that Beth Price.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that. I don't know.
Beth, are you still on?
I know Beth is on, but she asked any advice for best probiotics to take.
So I actually have a probiotic that I use with the company I'm affiliated with, and I love their probiotic. They have a great prebiotic and probiotic, and to be able to speak scientifically, I'd have to get out the documentation, but it's got like way more of the good bacteria than an over-the-counter, say, if you were to go, it was, parts per million, whatever. It's way bigger. And I'd have to get out my my paperwork on that to really be able to speak to it intelligently, but I do take it every day and I love it. And I do feel like it definitely helps me for sure. Also, the same company has a product called NRF2. Now there are multiple companies selling NRF2, but this is actually the founder of NRF2, the discoverer. And they found that 5 ingredients in nature put together could go in and basically do things like help build back the lining of the intestine. And it's a lot of cell regeneration. So yes, both of those products I would definitely recommend. What are your thoughts, Trevor, on prebiotics?
I would be taking them every day for sure, especially if you have gut health issues, if you're dealing with indigestion or constipation, or you're not going to the bathroom properly. You have to take a prebiotic for sure, just to start, basically start to build everything back up again, right? So your good bacteria. Again, I would have that in combination with very specific foods that allow the good gut bacteria to start to flourish and grow. For sure. I mean, it depends on probiotics. I mean, for me, I think like if you've had gut issues in the past, a prebiotic and a probiotic are necessary. I think for sure, 100% a prebiotic for sure, at least 2 or 3 times a day.
And especially if you've been on any antibiotics, you've got to do both for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
An extended time. Interesting. I want to get your thoughts on this. Potato starch is known to be a really good prebiotic.
Interesting. That's a potato starch is basically a resistant starch, meaning it doesn't drive up blood sugar levels.
Exactly.
Because again, like when we're in my world, I'm all about reducing blood sugar levels in our clients, right? It's like we don't want our clients to have high levels of blood sugar, and you can get potato starch in a meal or combine it in some way, and that actually definitely will help for sure. Anything that can help. I mean, with us, it's about food combining. So it's like combining the right types of foods to help heal the body, and that really is the key. And also, obviously, with the fasting comes into play too. So when you have like a really good game plan in regards to healing the gut. It could be like a day of fasting and then eating certain foods every single day after your fast to make sure you're replenishing your gut flora. Potato starch probably could fit in there very nicely. I personally don't use it, so I mean I can't really speak a lot to it.
It's interesting because when I was researching, potato starch was recommended in a powder form when fasting.
And while you
while you fast, just put it in, put it in your water. And this potato starch can be found in potatoes, green bananas, and plantains. And let's see if I can find the.
I love your research there, Kelly. I mean, that's like blowing me away.
I love researching stuff.
I love it.
The name of the powdered form, I'll have to look back up the powdered form of the potato starch, and I'll put it in the comments if anybody is interested, because they actually said it kind of works as a fiber when you are for when you're fasting. And also another great thing that I learned, of course, I guess I already knew this, but it was reiterated with gut health, is drinking water.
Definitely, 100%.
Drinking lots of water, and we're not drinking enough water. So what happens a lot is food just tends to sit in the intestine, and that causes all sorts of problems. So it's not actually moving as it should through the intestines. So I thought, well, there you go, another check for drinking water.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for sure, at least 2.5 to 3 liters a day. Sometimes I can fall behind as well a little bit, for sure. So what are your thoughts in regards to, like, for myself, what are your thoughts on elimination? Because you just started talking about that in regards to, food's just sitting in your stomach. Do you feel like we need to eliminate every day, or is that something that, is every second day? Like, for me personally, I mean, if you eliminate every day, that's great. But if you don't, then not necessarily something wrong, but there could be, right? So
I think for my, my limited education on elimination, it's not like my favorite topic to study by any means. But from what I know, daily is, what you want to strive for and work for. And water is certainly going to help with that fiber as well. Speak to the fiber issue with someone trying to do keto, because a lot of fiber is carbohydrates. And
that's true. That's true. So colon contraction, I'm going to talk about this for a second. Colon contraction, the colon contracts, I see my hand here. Your colon contracts not on the fiber, but on potassium. Right. So if you're not adding a lot of adding foods that have potassium, your colon has a tough time contracting. Right. And so what ends up happening is that when you're on a lower carb type of meal plan, you eliminate a lot of the carbs. You eliminate probably, 90% of the carbs, and you also eliminate the potassium. So this is where the bowel issues come into play, is that, you can get plugged up because it's not about the fiber, but it's about the potassium. You took the potassium away from the body, and which means there's less contraction in the colon. And so that's where the pooping issue comes into play when it comes to low carb lifestyles. Easy fix for this is, obviously adding in the vegetables, not just for the fiber content, but for potassium. That is the key when it comes to eliminating when you're on a low carb type of meal plan. It's the potassium. It's not really the fiber. Fiber can actually make it worse if you're bunged up. Like if you're not moving any bowels, or your bowels aren't moving, adding more fiber just makes everything worse. And then you get more constipated and more bunged up. I don't know if you felt that way. Like, I know some of our audience may have felt that way too. Is like, the fiber's not working. You're adding more fiber and you're still not pooping. What's going on? Right. I'm very comfortable talking about poop because I talk about it a lot.
This is definitely your world. I'm all about mind setting.
I'll
talk about emotional trauma all day long.
Let's talk about poop, baby.
You throw me someone that's, been depressed and, I'm all over that. I can talk about that all day.
Yeah, but poop's a different subject.
But as biohackers, this is an important topic for sure. And I'm not denying that in any way. It's interesting because I did read a lot about the potato starch because I thought, well, that's really interesting. It is a resistant starch, like you said. Let's see. But, gosh. It can improve metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and blood sugar. It helps with fat burning and reduces fat storage in your cells. It optimizes gut flora and promotes weight loss. And it's not digested in the small intestine. It's only digested, this is the potato starch. It's only digested in by gut bacteria.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's where it actually becomes keto friendly because
it doesn't spike insulin.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was really interesting. You get it in powder form and just drink it in a glass of water. And so I thought, well, that's interesting. That could solve the issue of I think that maybe we should give this a try, Trevor, and give this a try and tell our audience, what our thoughts are on the potato starch. Because
I will do that. And, that's a great hack, in regards to improving your health. I think, we're biohackers and you're looking for the hack to improve gut health. I think we just found it, Kelly. Like,
I know. I'm. That's what I do. Always. That's why I'm biohacker mom.
That's why we're biohacking. That's right. I love it. It's good.
Yeah, we love it. So I think that you and I should. I will actually. There are kind of like some scientific names, and I wrote it down for the powder form of the potato starch. And you can just order it in powder form and take it with your water. I think that can help with the kind of going around the fiber issue.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It's keto friendly.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna order some. I'm definitely gonna try it in my next fast.
We're doing this.
I'm doing this. We're doing this. Yeah, absolutely.
So my cousin Beth, she wrote again and she said, yes, she's got celiac in the house. And so any thoughts on celiac disease, Trevor?
Well, a major inflammatory condition caused by reduction in good gut flora, but also inflammation within the intestinal wall. So for sure, it really boils down to food intake and what types of foods you're eating in combination throughout the day. So like with Beth, again, I'm not going to prescribe a meal plan right on here, but, I would definitely look at adding in fermented food, reducing obviously any carbs that drive the inflammatory response within the gut. And also too, adding in butyrate. So small chain fatty acids, those three things in combination with fasting, I believe would really help. And setting you up on a really good fasting schedule. Maybe it's, start off with a 12-hour fast for a week and then add in like yourself, Kelly, do the 16-hour fast, right? Start to get the gut healing, the gut health going, adding in the fermented foods, adding in the butyrate when you're not fasting, making sure that you're timing meals properly throughout the day. It's, again, I think celiac can be greatly improved upon. It's not a lifelong, you don't have to live with celiac disease if you do it if you feed your body the right way.
I would also add that probably high alkaline,
Water.
Oh yeah, definitely. High alkaline, hydrogen rich water and the NRF2. The NRF2 is also going to help with all of that as well. And then of course the prebiotic, probiotic, and potato starch.
Yeah, potato starch. This is exciting because we're giving some really good advice to Beth. I hope she's still listening. I hope she's still on. But that's great because we all deserve to feel good internally, right? I sometimes like I cringe when I hear people talk about how they're not feeling good in their gut and they feel constipated and they're not going to the bathroom like for 4 days in a row. And it's like, oh, you don't have to live with that. You know what I mean? Like you
I
don't
think
have to
the
live with it.
majority is living
Right.
that way. I
Right.
think it's more the norm than not. And
It is.
that's what's so heartbreaking to Trevor and I. And that's what our mission is to wake people up. And, there's a system that's working against us. And so we've got to start finding ways around the system to look out for ourselves, because the system, I'm sorry, the system
Broken.
is not looking out for us, really. The system, I'm not going to say that it's all bad. I mean, there's a place for Western medicine. There really is. If you're bleeding to death, if you've broke, your limb has fallen off, you've just had a heart attack or a stroke, yes, you've got to get help. But really, I think that we all need to take some personal responsibility and some personal action. So let's see. I try to do kombucha and sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
A Berkey girl. I don't know what that means.
A Berkey girl. So yeah, we'll have to talk about the Berkey. Yeah,
Right.
I certainly have some thoughts on the Berkey, and it's certainly not all bad with the Berkey by any means. I mean, Berkey is definitely it's clean water for sure, so that's great. Yeah, Beth, we'll talk more about that for sure. Yes, definitely try the potato starch. Now with the kombucha, doesn't there tend to be a lot of sugar in kombucha?
There can be, yeah. You have to just be careful of what you're getting. You definitely want to read the ingredients.
Definitely want to read the ingredients.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's great stuff. It tastes wonderful. I love kombucha, but you got to really watch, like, gosh, the sugar can be outrageous.
I mean, we never really touched on the sugar, and I know we're kind of running out of time, but I mean, yeah, I mean, sugar is hidden and it's everywhere, and that the sugar really just destroys the good gut flora, right? So like, being very, I would almost say obsessed with reading labels and like looking at what's in your labels, what's in the foods and what, or what's in the water, not the water, sorry, what's in the foods and what's in what you're drinking, what's in it, right? Like look at the ingredients. And sugar has a lot of aliases. There's so many names for sugar, like dextrose and maltodextrin, agave nectar, corn, whatever. Like there's so many aliases, and you have to be very careful about what you're putting into your body, because what you are putting in your body could be destroying your good gut flora.
Most definitely. And, it's really heartbreaking. I think what happened is they discovered how addictive sugar is. Sugar is more addictive than crack cocaine. And they discovered how addictive sugar is. And so they were like, oh my gosh, this will be our money making, this is the mecca. And they decided to run with it. And they basically made us all addicted. I mean, the vast majority of us, me included, I'm going to totally say I'm addicted to sugar. I haven't done sugar now for the most part. I guess there might have been a little in something, but to my knowledge, I haven't done any sugar for 4 weeks. But I miss it. Especially my chocolate. Trevor and I have talked about this. I miss my chocolate so much. And I have been doing the monk fruit chocolate.
Monk fruit's great. It doesn't.
I mean, and I can hardly really tell the difference, really.
It's very sweet. Yeah, it's very sweet. Yeah. Doesn't spike insulin levels, and actually doesn't even just destroy good gut flora. So no, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So, we should talk about fat bombs pretty soon too. Like
I think that maybe that should be a talk sometime, is substitutes for sugar, things that we can do to still get that fix of, it's sad to like go to a party and everybody's eating all these amazing desserts and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I can't do that. But if you are able to still feel that craving in some way, sometime, I think that, I think people will be happier to come our way. Let's see. How y'all
Yeah,
feel about natural sugars?
yeah.
I've tried to switch to using small amounts of honey or maple syrup, sometimes monk fruit. Now, we do have maple syrup in the house because Olivia loves to have just a little bit of maple syrup with her. She does the keto waffles.
Oh, that's awesome. You're getting her into the keto lifestyle.
Oh yeah. So she does a little bit of maple syrup with that. I know it's still sugar, but Trevor, your thoughts?
I think, yeah, I mean, you know what, the thing is, like, sugar substitutes like sweeteners and artificial sweeteners, I would say stay away from, because they do affect gut health. And they do mess around with your brain chemistry as well. They do actually increase insulin levels, because when your tongue tastes something sweet, your body will naturally release insulin. It's just a natural thing. Natural sugars, people are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say, yes, try to stay away from us. Like honey and everything, like brown sugar, natural quote unquote sugars are not better than sugar. And it's just sugar. Your body processes it the same way. It's not any better or worse. It's just your body processes it, drives up insulin levels. And that, that's the thing we need. If you're wanting to improve your health on a longevity scale, we need to reduce insulin. And all sugars drive up insulin production. Right. And so, like, yeah, if you're having a little bit here and there, it's not a huge deal. But if you're trying to do it, like if you're having natural sugars every day, I would just say, like, let's cut that out, because it definitely will help. Right. As long as you're reducing the insulin levels in your body, you're going to improve your gut health. That's what it really, high levels of insulin destroy cells. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, if you're eating higher carb foods that drive up insulin, you will run into problems eventually. And so, just cutting out all the sugars will definitely help 100%. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because that's
it's terrible. And I know you've told me this, and there's part of me that's like, no. The monk fruit, same thing with the monk fruit.
I think you can get away with it, but like stevia and monk fruit, or erythritol and monk fruit and stevia, are probably the only things that I would be using if I had gut health issues, but in limited amounts. Yeah.
I just, there's this thing, and I've created it over the years, where I have a meal, and I would just always, when I was done with the meal, have just a tiny little piece of dark chocolate. And I still, that is my little thing. And it's really, really hard.
It's your reward, reward center, right? Like when a mouse like hits the thing and gets a thing of cheese, like, that's what that reminds me of. It's just like, that's your little reward. So you got to find something to replace that. What is that going to be for you? It's obviously not going to be chocolate anymore, but what is that reward?
I don't know that I can ever say, Trevor, that I'll never have dark chocolate ever again, because it's literally like my favorite thing in the whole world.
I know. It's tough to give up. I used to be addicted to white chocolate, by the way. I used to have a huge white chocolate addiction. Every Sunday I would have white chocolate. It would be my thing, because I'd be like, hey, I had such a great eating week. Let's reward myself with white chocolate. But it was really bad. Yeah, not a good thing. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't had that since 2014. So yeah, it's crazy.
So Beth says, so monk fruit sounds like a better option. Yeah. I think of everything. Yes, I think so too. Sure. Just from what I know.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah, definitely better than. Now, do they have like a liquid form of the monk fruit?
Yeah, they do. They drops, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That may be something to try with my daughter, with the maple syrup.
For sure. It's maple syrup. Yeah, monk fruit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
so we're right here at the end.
5 minutes. Like, I hope we didn't bore our audience too much.
I hope not too.
No, it was a really good discussion. It was a really good discussion. I liked it.
Yeah, I think I was interested, and that's really all that matters.
That's right. Yes, I'm interested.
the queen was, happy with the conversation.
Yes,
So.
exactly. So we have to give away some prizes, and we got to figure out how to give away this. How to tell everybody what our thing is, like with our dog.
So at the beginning of our talk, we said that we were going to reveal the name of I had a dog by this name, and Trevor had a dog by this name, and that name was Trevor.
Are we? So we have to say it now.
Yeah, we got to say it. We're at the end.
Jasper. Isn't that crazy?
Jasper.
Both of us had a dog named Jasper. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. And Beth is still on here. She remembers my dog, Jasper. He was such a sweetie. I just loved him. How old was your dog?
Oh, our dog was a bit of a puppy. But I remember him, like, he ran away a lot. Like, he would run away and we'd have to find him and take him back into the house. And then like 2 or 3 days later, he would like run away again. And I think eventually he like ran away, and it was a very cold, like, it was pretty sad. Like, it was, he ran away, it was super, super cold, like -30. Yeah, pretty heartbreaking, but.
How old was he?
Very old, very young. Like, I think he was still like a puppy. Like, I think in like dog years, like 6, 7, 8 years old, like not super old.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So Beth has it. She said Jasper with a question mark. Yeah. She already knew because she remembers my dog. I know Beth is a very big animal girl. I've never known anyone to love animals as much as my cousin Beth. So Beth, yes, you get the prize today, I believe, unless I don't think we have anybody from any other platforms today. So thank you so much, Beth, for being with us. And yes, you will get Trevor's meal plan and my amazing mushroom coffee, which I think I've been talking to her about sending her some of that coffee anyway. So this is great. We'll get that in the mail to her. Any other thoughts on
just with Beth, like, Beth, if you could send me a message on Facebook, you just connect with me on Facebook and just send me a message. We'll figure out the meal plan and all that good stuff from there.
Trevor's in Canada, so yeah. So
we're gonna meet online and Zoom and all that good stuff together. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I just want to say, thanks for the awesome talk, Kelly. It was great. I enjoyed myself. It was fun. It's always fun hanging out with you for 45 minutes at the end of the week. I enjoy myself.
I really do too. It's fantastic, and hopefully we've got some really good information for you guys. Hopefully you're learning some things. Hopefully we're inspiring you guys to really take action on your health. And, not only will you feel better, but it spreads, when you're feeling good, the people around you feel better, and it just starts to spread. And that's what we want to do. We want to create a movement where everybody's feeling good.
Everyone deserves to feel good, right? Like that's the thing. Where, like you had mentioned, like, Western medicine is more reactive than proactive, right? Like, we all have to be proactive with our health now, right? We can't sit back and be like, okay, I'm going to go to the doctors, or I'm going to let my doctor take care of this. No, we need to take care of it, right? And so this is why we've created this biohacking movement, is because you can really biohack into your health and improve your health by doing these really simple things. Nothing super complicated, but it really makes a big difference once you start doing them.
Yes, definitely. All right, Trevor, thank you. On YouTube, how can they find you?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? You can, if you want to check out my website, you can find out more information about my program, my system, at www.biohackthefat.com. That's BIOHACK, thefat.com. Yeah.
Okay. I am Biohacker Mom on YouTube, and my website is thebiohackermom.com. So please, if you are on the replay on this, please give us a hashtag replay. And we'd love to still have any questions. If you have any suggestions for topics to discuss, we would love to hear that from you guys. And for now, we're off. You guys have a great weekend.
You guys take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.